Hey guys, so this video is just going to briefly overview phonics. So what is phonics and why do we teach it? First up, what is phonics? What does the word phonics actually mean? The word phonics we use to talk about the fact that in the English language, letters basically represent sounds. So the letter T represents the sound T, and we use that letter to be able to write down the sound T. Of course, it gets more complicated than that as you get into higher levels because you get letters that come together to make sounds, and you get different patterns that you have to follow to make different sounds. And of course you get all of those exceptions which everyone always, gets a little bit annoyed about in English, but actually 85% of English words either completely follow the rules or they can be understood if you understand different subsections within the rules. So if you understand all of the phonetic code for English, you're going to be able to read and write 85% of English words, which is a lot of words, okay? It's definitely going to be an easier process to remember all of those rules and all of those patterns than to memorize each of those words individually. So how does it work, learning phonics? Well, everyone will have, if you've learned to read and write, you will have learnt some phonics to start with for sure. Okay, so everyone needs to learn this concept to start with for the basic beginning that letters make sounds. The problem is, for some kids, some kids just kind of absorb this naturally. So if you read and write lots of books with them, then they'll start to pick up that S makes the sound and T makes the T sound. They absorb it naturally, they memorize it naturally, and before you know, they're reading and writing, and it seems to just be this natural process. Unfortunately, for a lot of kids, that doesn't happen. And these are the kids that we normally work with. And these are the kids that we really are wanting to help with this program and these video series as well. So if you have a kid that just naturally absorbs language through reading and writing, then that's great, and you probably don't need us, and you can probably go and open another web page right now and just Google fun reading and writing activities. Do those fun reading and writing activities with your kids and you'll be fine. But what the kids who we're working with and who we're targeting with this video series are the kids who don't just pick that up naturally. And if you have these kids, you probably will have noticed, because they are the ones who just struggle with reading and writing. And it's not that they're any slower, and it's not that they're not as smart, it's just that they think differently. So their brain doesn't naturally absorb the rules and the patterns. So what you have to do for these kids is you have to directly, explicitly teach them every rule and every pattern that exists in words. And then, once you've done that, if they are not naturally remembering those, you actually need to give them enough time to sit on those words and sit on those patterns until it just becomes a natural second nature process that they can read every rule and every pattern of letters in the English language. So that's an overview of really probably 90% of the teaching that we do is we are just identifying which letters, which rules, which patterns do you know already? Okay, we'll leave those. Which ones are going to be the next ones that you need to know? We're going to get a list of words that follow that pattern, follow that rule, and we're going to give you enough time, enough review, enough practice to be able to fluently read those so you never have to think about them again when you come across them in a text.